guys, so today's lesson is about converting fractions, decimals, and percents. Okay, so this is something that you've been doing for a while. So this is just, excuse me, a review lesson, but it's an important one because we're going to be talking, we're getting ready to move, or we are moving into our percents unit. So it's really important that we make sure we know how to convert these things. So the first thing I did is I cut out my focal, and then I went ahead and kind of split it up in the middle. If you want to do that, it's fine. If you don't have to, but I did. And then I also would like for you guys to, let's see if we can get them all on here. There we go. You need to go ahead and copy these onto your right-hand side. So if you'll go ahead and pause your camera and get those copied. Sorry. All right. So I'm going to put this to the side right now, and I'll get that in a second. I'm going to actually just take my notes right now without gluing it in because I have to write on both flaps, and it gets on my nerves when I write off the side of the book. So, fractions, percents, and decimals. So I've got them going back and forth on how you do these, and the most important ones, though, to know how to do in 7th grade is, if I can find my highlighter, way over here, sorry y'all, is going from a percent to a decimal and going from a decimal to percent. Those are the ones that in this unit and pretty much in 7th grade, we need to make sure that we really know how to do those. Our calculators do the decimals to fractions for us, so that one's not quite as hard, but making sure we know how to go from percent to decimal and decimal to percent. So I'm going to open this up and we're going to start on this percent to decimal. Let's make it a little bit lower. Here we go. So let's find me one I can use. So the first thing I want you to do over here is just go ahead and write 61%. Okay, so that is that's our percent, and we're going to go from a percent to a decimal. And these are the steps. The first thing you're going to do is you are going to get rid of the percent sign, and I just put that as the percent sign in this percent, and then you will move the decimal 2 places to the left. Okay, we're going to get rid of the percent sign and we're going to move the decimal 2 places to the left. So what that looks like is we'll have this. Decimal sign is gone. Right now, the decimal in this number, it's a whole number, is going to be right here. And so we're going to move it 2 places to the left, and then it will change to 61 hundredths. Remember, when you have a number in the second spot, it's hundredths. The first spot is tenths. There's no ones. Okay, so this is the tenths place and the hundredths place. So that's how you do that. You're going to get rid of the percent sign. You're going to move the decimal 2 places to the left. All right, let's just go straight down, and then we'll go back to the next side. So for the second one, which is going from decimals to fractions, and like I said, we will use our calculators most of the time for this, but I just want you to remember how to do it. I'm going to give you 2 examples, 0.75. Ooh, close that up. And then I'm just going to draw a line down here, and 0.06. So the first thing we have to do is we are going to write the decimal like it sounds. Okay, we're going to write the decimal like it sounds, and then we would simplify. What I mean by that, write the decimal like it sounds. So this decimal, the way we would read it is 75 hundredths. So as a fraction, it sounds like this, 75 hundredths, okay? And that's the way that decimal would be written. But then I said simplify, so to simplify this, I always think about, when I think about like quarters parts, I just think about actually quarters, and this would simplify to 3/4. Okay? This one you read as 6/10, which would look like 6/10. And that would actually simplify to 3/5, because we know that both of these can be divided by 2. Okay, so that's how you go from a decimal to a fraction. You just write it like it sounds. All right. The last one on this side is going from a fraction to a percent. So the first thing we're going to do is, well, let's see. Well, I'm going to skip this one so we can come back to it. I want to go over to this one first. So a fraction to a decimal, because we have to do that first when we're going to a percent. So fraction to a decimal. So we're going to skip over here really quick. When we're going to do a fraction to a decimal, and your example is going to be 1/8. Okay, so the first thing we do, and the only thing we do, is we're going to divide the numerator. I want you to think about what the numerator is. The top number. By the denominator. Okay, so what it would look like, it's the denominator into the numerator. Now, I don't know if I thought about this or if one of my students told me, probably one of my students told me, but they told me the way that their teacher taught them to remember this, to divide this, is you think about this fraction falling over into a division sign. Well, when it falls, the 1 is going to fall inside, and the 8 would be on the outside, because the way it would fall like that. So that's what they taught me. So let's think about what we know about these, about dividing. I know that 8 cannot go into 1. So when I know that, I'm going to put a decimal there. I'm going to put a 0. I'm also going to put a decimal right above there. Okay, so, and then we keep on going. This takes you back to like 4th grade with long division. So 8 will go into 10 one time. 1 times 8 is 8. Then I'm going to subtract. I used to call it dead mice smell bad, really. I know a lot of teachers have different things, but dead is divide. Mice multiply, smell, subtract, bad, bring down, really. Okay, so that's what I thought about it as. So now I'm going to subtract. 10 minus 8 is 2. There's another 0 here, and we're going to bring that down. Okay, so now I'm going to start and repeat. Start over. 8 will go into 20. 2 times 8 is 16. Subtract. We have a 4 there. Now, typically, I would just say stop, because y'all know me. I just say round to the nearest hundredth. That's the nearest hundredth. But I'm going to go in one place for this one, because I know it ends at this. So we put a 0 there. We're going to bring that 0 down. 8 will go into 40. Whoops. 5 times 8 is 40, and we subtract and get a 0. So your answer is 125 thousandths. Okay, and that's that answer for that. So that's how we go from a fraction to a decimal. Now I'm going to slide back over here and do this one. So to go from a fraction to a percent, let's see. Actually, we're not going to do that one yet. I really need to number these things. I'm going to go up here to decimal to percent, because that's that one is similar to, we need that one for this one. So I might have to number them after I do it with y'all, so I can make sure I know which order to do it. All right, so for this one, going from a decimal to a percent, here's the example is 62 hundredths is our decimal, and we are going to move decimal point two places. Now, last time we moved it to 2 places to the left. This time we're going to move it 2 places to the right. So this time we're going to go to the right. And then we're going to put percent sign. So what this would look like is you are going to go 1, 2, so this time we're going in that direction and put it there, and it would change to 62 because it's changing to that whole number percent. Okay. All right. Let me go up to percent to fraction really quick. We'll just go that one, then we'll come to the last one for the last one. As a reminder, percent means when we talked about this earlier, it means out of 100. Okay, percent means out of 100. So if we have 42%, and we're going to change that. First thing we would do is get rid of that percent sign. And then we would write it over 100. So it would change to we just got rid of the sign and changes to that. So 42 over 100. Okay, now let's go to that last one. So the last one, fraction plus percent, has the most steps, but it'll be okay. So what we will do is we are going to be converting 1/3 into a percent. So the first thing we do is we are going to convert the fraction to a decimal. Okay, and remember with that means that thing is going to fall down into this. So 1/3, and we're going to put that decimal point there. We're going to put that decimal point there, and we'll put a 0. And I totally just did that wrong. Sorry. Y'all. All right, it is actually going to be 3 into 1. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe I just did that. I'm sorry, y'all. All right, so 3 will go into 10. 3 times 3 is 9. We'll subtract. We'll get a 1. We'll put that and bring it down. 3 will go into 10. 3 times 3 is 9. Subtract. It's going to keep repeating. So that is your answer. Your decimal is 0.33333 repeating. So we're going to stop it right there. Second thing we're going to do is we're going to move the decimal point 2 places to the right. So we have this decimal, 0.33, and we're going to go 1, 2 to the right. So it would be 33, and then we would just put the percent sign. Okay, and it would be 33%. So, like I said, that's just a review of all of them. The ones that you will use the most in this unit and in 7th grade are going to be these two. And so what I want you to do now is go to your next page, and I want you to try these. The ones that I had you set up earlier, I want you to try those. Use your notes. See what you're doing. Then when you finish, I want you to come back, and I'm going to have done it as well, and you can check them here. All right, we are back. So I've glued my paper in, and these are your answers. So the first one, you're going from a decimal to a percent, and you just change it to 46%. We were going from a percent to a decimal, so I just moved the decimal 2 spaces to the left, and we got that 127% is 1.27. We were going from a decimal to a fraction. We just put that you read that as 92 hundredths. So you put it over the 100, and I reduced it. If you didn't, it's okay. You can fill it in now. Then when we wanted to get our fraction to a decimal, remember it falls over, and I just went to the nearest hundredth, so it was 87 hundredths. We went from a fraction to a percent. Since I had 50 in the denominator, I knew I could change it to 100 because that's what it needs to be over is 100. And so it was 22 over 100, 22%. And then the last one, I almost messed up. It was 36%, and we wanted to go over a fraction. And remember, 36 means out of 100. percent means out of 100, so I just did 36 out of 100. So we will be using percents a lot this unit, so I just wanted to do a little review, and we will practice some more in class.